Welcome to the new and improved BCMA podcast show, brought to you by our friends with Southern Sound Outfitters. Welcome to the BCMA Show podcast. We are joined today by a very special guest, Texas artist that's been in the scene for a while. It's Mr. Kevin Deal. How's it going, man?
Going good, Jacob. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine, brother. I'm just trying to stay cool. It's pretty hot out.
Well, it's going to get hotter, Jacob.
Oh yeah. I know. It's just that time of year where we got to just settle in and prepare for that heat.
It's coming.
So, brother, you from Plano, Texas, which is northeast of Dallas, correct?
Yeah, it's just a little bit north of Dallas. Straight up Highway 75.
Now, growing up there, who were some of your musical influences growing up?
Well, growing up, my dad was always a big country music fan. Hank Williams, Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash, that were big influences. And country radio at the time on an AM dial. It's kind of what I grew up listening to. And then, in high school, Leonard Skinner, ZZ Top, Stones, stuff like that. And then, I kind of got out on my own and started playing a little, and didn't really do anything serious with it till I was in my 30s, in the 90s.
Well, that's what I wanted to get into, man. You have a unique story of at an early age, when you graduated high school. You actually started a career in masonry, and ultimately led to you creating your own masonry company in '83. So give us some more details of that, man.
I was in the building trades program at Plano Senior High, and I was so much trouble as a junior, they were more than happy to let me go to work half a day as a senior. And I went to work half a day for a bricklayer, and then when I graduated, I just went straight to work for him, and became an apprentice bricklayer, and then went out on my own and started, getting into the stone side of things and doing high-end stone work.
Now, do you still have your own company, your masonry company?
Oh yeah. I'm sitting on a job site right now.
Wow. So you definitely and the next topic is going to surprise probably a lot. I mean, you've been in the music industry now for almost 2 decades. So when did you finally break out from doing just masonry and say, I want to give this music thing a try?
I think I did my first album in '98, and I wouldn't let anybody listen to the first 2 I put out, but I was pretty proud of the third one, "Kiss on the Breeze," and I tried to get better as I went. Just like my first masonry projects, I'm not near as proud of them today as I was when I did them. So it's like anything you do, you always try to get better at it.
I can totally understand. I go back and listen to some of the first podcast interviews I've done, probably a year ago or so, and I cringe at just my own voice and how I was like a deer in headlights, man. But I was able to grow the craft, man. So
yeah, you have to try to get better, no matter what you're doing.
Exactly. So you mentioned your first album you put out was in '98.
I think it was. Like if I had to be on Perry Mason or one of those shows in court where they ask you what you were doing that year, I'd be in jail, because I'm not real good with remembering the days and the years and the months of things.
Let's see if you.
I think it was '98. I just look.
Let's see if you.
But like I said, I wouldn't sell that record to you. You know what I mean?
Well, let's see if you remember the number. You put out, including this new one. This is your 10th record.
Yes.
10th record. That is amazing. All the way from '98 to 2019. That's damn near 20 years in the business. And the latest one is called The Long Road Home, and it was released in March 22nd of this year. Tell us how this album came about and the work behind it.
It just, I go through phases of writing songs, and this collection was just, the latest bunch of songs that popped in my head, and I actually put a couple of covers on this one, because when you play live, you always do a couple of covers, and most usually play some covers. We've been playing Ring of Fire forever, and Knocking on Heaven's Door. We kind of put a country spin on that, and it was fun. The old Bob Dylan tune.
Yeah, that's a great tune, man. So, which song off the album would you say is probably your favorite or your personal favorite?
Well, the single that's out now, wrote for my brother. I lost him a few years back, and when I went in the studio, I had in mind one way I wanted to hear it, real sad, pedal steel, fiddle, and when I got there, Lloyd Maines, he took it in a totally different direction, and I loved what he did with it, but I still wanted to hear it, real sad country, so I put both versions on the album because I really liked the idea Lloyd had for it, and he took a really sad song and gave it an upbeat, almost rocking feel, and so I don't know. I really like that one. A Reckoning is one I took from a line of Tombstone. I've always liked that movie, Tombstone, and A Reckoning kind of came from that line, where Doc says it's about a reckoning, and Wyatt just goes off on them cowboys.
Well, I definitely have to say it's a great album, man, through and through. One of the songs, If You Can't Put It Down, is doing quite well. I mean, sitting at number 78 on the Texas Country Music Association chart, and I think it was around 117 on the Texas Region Radio chart last I checked this morning. Give us some background on this song and how the writing came about.
Yeah, that's the one I wrote about my brother. I lost him a few years ago. He had a hard time with alcohol, and just kind of felt helpless, and tried to help him, tried to talk to him, and just nothing really did any good, and it was really frustrating and sad to watch him go.
Yeah, man, addiction and things of that nature can be a very difficult thing for the people, not only the people that are in their issue of addiction, but the loved ones around them. I know firsthand. So that song kind of really hit me home. So, yeah, definitely. We have the song, and I want to let you introduce it, and we'll play it, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more, man.
All right. Thank you, Jacob. This is Kevin Deal. You're listening to my latest single, If You Can't Put It Down.
Well, hey there, baby, what you doing over there? I've been counting your smiles, I'm watching you stare. Come on, darling, won't you take my
That was If You Can't Put It Down off of the new record by Kevin Deal, The Long Road Home. You can get that on all music platforms, and we're joined by Kevin, and we've been talking a little bit about the album and his background in the industry. I just have to say, man, it's a great record. How has this record been any different than the other 10 plus that you put out so far?
A little different. I guess, it's just where you are at that point in your life and what's going on around you, what influences your writing. This one, I don't know. I was real happy with the way it turned out. Worked with Lloyd Maines on it, and always really liked working with him. And it's, I don't know, it's kind of like a journey,
Yeah. Well,
I guess it's called The Long Road Home, and it's got a couple different themes working through it. It's not homogeneous in its theme by any means, but there are a few themes running through it.
Well, being in the industry for as long as you have, tell us about some of the relationships you've been able to create with other artists or songwriters in the Texas country scene.
Oh, I got a lot of friends, that I bump into. It's a long, long list. One of the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Enjoyable things I do is, I got some friends on Blind Yellow Records. Mark David Manders, who was really instrumental in introducing me to Lloyd Maines, and he did introduce us. And Max Stalling, Houston Martin, and we do a show together. It's called the Blind Yellow Records Company Christmas Party. We do it in an old theater in Kinney, Texas, and we do it every year, usually the first Saturday in December. And we just get together and swap songs and tell stories. And Max's wife, Heather Stalling, is just one of the best fiddle players you'll ever hear, and she helps us out quite a bit. Because we're all strummers. Houston can pick a little bit, but she really adds a lot to it, and it's just a fun time of telling jokes, swapping stories, and playing songs together.
Well, I always ask this question to our guests, and I have to say this is probably a crazy question for someone such as yourself that's been in the industry this long and had these relationships. But I always ask, if you could, in a dream scenario, sit down with a legendary songwriter that's still alive or perform with a legendary musician, who would those two be?
Man, it'd be hard to pick. I always loved Willie Nelson and Mickey Raphael. I'm a harmonica player, so Mickey Raphael's always kind of been a hero. But I don't know. Willie's for sure one. He's the man. I don't know. It's too late for Guy Clark. I always really liked Guy's writing. Steve Earle's one of my favorites. I think as long as we didn't talk politics, we'd get along great. But I've always loved Steve's writing. Always loved his music, and I really have a lot of respect for him.
Yes, sir.
But it's hard to narrow it down. There's so many good writers.
I figured it would be a hard question to ask someone such as yourself because of the knowledge.
Joe Ely. I met Joe Ely, and I backed Joe Ely's trailer into Billy Bob's once for her. And Joe was a really nice man. I really liked Joe Ely. I looked up to him quite a bit. And Robert Earl, I met him. He was real nice. But I didn't really get to hang out with him, but I met him. I really liked him. And I always really liked his music. And Ray Wiley Hubbard, I've opened for him a few times and met him, and I think the world of Ray. And boys from 1100 Springs are good friends of mine, too. I saw Pat Green backstage at a benefit show, and I hadn't seen him since playing Bub. Oh, man. I don't know, 15 years ago. I should have said my name because I don't think he remembered my face. But I was a young man then. So,
and you see, That's awesome because you mentioned that, and I just did a few interviews with some younger artists from the area, and they're like, I asked them this question, who they look up towards, and they always mention Pat Green as the respectful musician and songwriter he is.
Yeah.
To have
he worked real hard for where he's at.
Yeah, and to have someone such as yourself that can say I met him back when, and like you're on a totally different I guess level of time frame and knowledge in the industry, but that's awesome to hear all the other names you mentioned that I know of, and the people listening, go Google all of them if you don't, because they're big deals in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. I mean Ray Wiley, you know, man, he's got some great stuff. Local Gringos Lament's one of my favorite records. Steve Earle's Train a Comin', El Corazon, and those are just pivotal records for me. Yeah, you need to check those cats out.
Yeah, so y'all go get y'all Google apps out and Google those for all the younger people listening. So man, you have your website kevindeal.com. Would you say that's the best way for people to keep up with all upcoming shows and music and whatnot?
Yeah, I've got it updated right now with the dates coming up. I'm working on more dates. Yeah, I don't know of a better way. I've got a music page as well on Facebook, Kevin Deal, Deal. There's a couple more Kevin Deals out there, but
you're the Kevin Real Deal. Kevin Real Deal.
Yeah.
So tell us some of your upcoming shows you got coming, man.
This Friday we're playing in McKinney, Texas at the Kelp. It's an Irish pub. It's as close as you're going to get to an Irish pub, I think, this side of Dublin. And I love it there. And then we play Saturday night at the Eklund Hotel in Clayton, New Mexico. I used to drive by there for years on the way out to Red River, New Mexico, Cold Bear, New Mexico, and up to Colorado. And we finally stopped off and said, hey, y'all ever have bands in here? And they said, yeah, we'd love to. So it's a great stopping off point. And then Sunday we're going to be in Red River, New Mexico at the Motherlode Saloon. There's a lot of bikes coming through there. They got music all day outside. And I got some more stuff coming up. I'll be down playing a thing in Houston area, I think, in July. I'm going to be at Port A down there at Back Porch on the 6th of June. And then Spicewood, Texas at Doodie's on the 8th of June. But that's all I can remember.
Like we said, you can definitely go check these dates out on his website at kevindeal.com, and he's got it all there. And to clarify for anyone listening, maybe after the fact, he mentioned about his upcoming shows Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday will be the 24th of May, Saturday 25th, and the 26th of May on Sunday. So definitely, if you're listening to this before those dates, go check out his shows, man, and go check out the live version of Kevin Deal. And what is, I mean, one of your favorite parts of performing live?
Oh, you know, it's when you got a good crowd that's into it, and you're having a good time. You know, I've got a young band. They're all kids go to North Texas. They're jazz players, so I have to get them to dummy it down a little bit to play with me. But they're all really good players, and we have a really good time, and they keep it interesting. But the guitar player Mills Jakin, he played on the record. So did Ian Griffith, my bass player. He played upright on the record. I really like the sound of an upright, you know, when you're recording. And they're good kids, good players. And Mills has really learned some sweet country licks, you know. It's not all straight up jazz.
Yeah. Well, man, I just want to say thank you for one thing that I've seen and want to mention, and that you are a voluntary firefighter of the Western Texas Voluntary Fire Department, and then as a voluntary firefighter myself, man, I have to say thank you for your service and everything you do in that category, brother.
Well, thank you, Jacob, and thank you too. I've been on there 15 years. We're a little bitty town. We got a engine, a brush truck, and a 4-wheel drive, small rescue brush truck, and yeah, it's hard to get volunteers.
Yeah, man. Around where I'm from and live, we have several different wards, and we live in small town country, so there's no real big actual fire department unless you go 20 minutes down the road. So we have to rely on that, on ourselves as volunteers, and luckily enough, we have a lot of young guys such as myself that are just, they want to help out. And it was something that changed me as an individual was joining that and being able to help and do things and see things, and really humbling and really fulfillment, man, because it's, and you also get to get that emotion of, I've seen handfuls of houses or buildings that these families just burnt to the ground, and the emotions of these people, and it makes you be able to feel it more than, say, somebody as a civilian that may read it on news or see it. So definitely we're gonna go ahead and plug this. If you have some free time or anything, you go ahead and volunteer in your area as a firefighter, and you don't have to have any experience. They'll teach you, and you'll be able to help out in your community and do a damn good deed.
Yeah, the college, Collin College, which is a community college up here, has a firefighting course that we go through, and they're real good, and you learn a lot, and it's a good thing to be a part of. We had to cut somebody out of a car in front of my house on Christmas Day, but we got them out, and it feels good when you can get them out of there and save them. And,
Yep. I've been in situations just the same, and it's always a good thing to be able to have your helping hands and saving a life or doing, So got a little carried away with that, but that's just my much respect for voluntary firefighters and people such as yourself that have a company and a music career and still do it. So that's a big thank you for taking that time, man.
You bet, and thank you too for doing it, Jacob. I don't know. Most people don't know all that goes into it, And the more the volunteer, it's like carrying a big heavy rock. The more people lift it, the easier it is on everybody.
Exactly. So definitely, I definitely want to give a shout out and a thank you to Miss Jennifer with Generate Promotions, because she's helped me hook up with so many of her rosters, such as Kevin, and so shout out to her. And I'll let you go ahead and say any kind of shout outs or anything you want to do, and give you the floor.
If you're listening to this show and you like Texas music, support it, because one thing that has really changed in the industry is getting paid for your records. So if there's somebody you like, man, go buy their CD, go to their show. It means a lot to folks, and I guess I hope you enjoy the music, and I hope I can meet up with some of y'all.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth, man. I always close each episode and say this with a strong support independent artists, because this is that they don't have big money backing them a lot of times. So go buy their merch, go pay for their music, go out to a show, go, support local artists in any way you can, because that's how they are able to put the music out that you love to listen to. There's no big record deals behind it, and 100% of the people that come on this show are independent artists. So these guys and girls are grinding. They're grinding out there and doing all this on their own, So definitely support that. And
if somebody does make it and they get a big record deal, and they're on the radio all the time making the big bucks. Don't turn your back on them, because, you know, chances are they worked real hard to get there too, and they made it, you know.
Yeah, and that, you know, I always bring up the facts of Aaron Watson and Cody Johnson, those two that grinded and grinded and grinded, and now they're finally getting their recognition outside of Texas. But
yep,
all that work and dedication and things they did as independents, you know, that takes no. It shouldn't be looked at in a bad way. You know, that was a lot of work that those guys put out. So I definitely agree with you on that. If you support an independent artist and they get to have an opportunity, because I mean that's pretty much what it's all about. You want to be able to have some backing and some support by a label or group, and to help you put out the best music you can. So. Definitely the goal, so don't go and frown upon that because they actually made their goal. You know, just appreciate how they got there.
Yep. Amen.
Well, brother, I appreciate you coming on the show. You're always welcome back anytime you wanted to, and any way we can help out, man, we will, because we strongly support independent artists all over the country here at Bayou Country Music Association.
Well, thank you so much, Jake. It was great talking to you, and you take care and be safe out there. And hopefully I'll run into you soon.
Yes, sir. I'll definitely try my hardest to make a show whenever, hopefully this summer, we'll get out there and make a show and get to meet in person. That's the goal, man. Definitely will do that.
All right. Well, thank you so much again, Jacob. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the BCMA Show podcast. Available on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio app, and our YouTube page. For more information, be sure and check out our website, BayouCountryMusic.com.